welcome to Horror Movies and Beyond. Today, I'm joined by one of the most talented upcoming directors in the horror film industry. His viral short film, The Other Side of the Box, has left a permanent place in the horror community, and now he has brought us a new horror film with over 140,000 views and counting. Play Me takes us on a journey of one of our biggest fears and turn it into a terrifying ordeal. Let's welcome Caleb Phillips.
Hi,
Hello.
thanks for having me.
But I wanted to change it up just slightly so people could know who you are. And I think you got something here. You got something. I love your style. I love how you scare the crap out of us with such a minimalist way. And I wanted to talk about it a little bit, if that's all right with you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. What I really loved is "Now you don't know nothing" as like a tagline for everything I make. like, like by the end of it, shit, I don't know anything.
Exactly. So, yeah, I just thought it'd be fun to talk a little bit about who you are and your process. And I have a couple of questions here. So, um, I was trying to figure out your writing process because these stories they don't seem to be thrown on paper. It feel like they're meticulously put a certain way and they're delicate. They're very delicate stories. And I mean, it takes great skill to write something like that. So how are you able to minimize your stories into the smallest? I mean, you take it to the smallest detail and get to the point. And I was curious of that process, if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's a really cool way to put it because it's always so interesting to hear other people's take on my work from the outside because it doesn't feel that way while I'm building it. But yeah, I really like hairpin turns and twists and stories. Like I really like my favorite experiences watching TV or reading a book and experiencing a twist is the moment where a character like reveals a tiny little detail that kind of like explodes the possibilities, and it teaches you to like pay attention to details, that like every little thing matters. So yeah, I like the adjective delicate a lot. I've never used that before to describe it, but yeah, it does kind of feel like I personally like watching chess matches. I like watching characters strategize and try to outthink each other, and I just find it really, really tense. And yeah, so for the writing process, it usually starts with like a really core idea or visual. So for the box, it was head in the box, didn't have rules or the scenario. I just knew that, okay, that feels special enough to build something around it. And then I'm always just trying to go for like a really, I don't know, I think I have like really bad ADHD, so I want I don't want I want stories that move. I want stories that like escalate really fast and keep escalating. Like yeah, for Play Me, I just got really taken with the idea of waking up in and being immediately overwhelmed by everything around you and having to be told who you are by your own voice, essentially that you're a killer or that you're trained or that you're capable. You've got all this responsibility thrust on you, like that's definitely personal. um yeah, and it all goes around like being like, how do I land this plane in the most suspenseful way possible, and then that comes after the concept. But I
Oh,
primarily work in the lighting department in
mhm.
commercials, branded content, cold brew, shampoo, whatever, and
Mhm.
it pays well, and I don't have to work very often because I jump on for a commercial for 1-2 days. But yeah, getting to be around so many professional people for the last, I guess, 8 years has been really helpful because it shows you where the waste is. It shows you on how to, I guess, like hire people. Like you learn pretty fast on how to be able to tell if somebody can do a job or not, and if they're reliable, and if they have good character, and also just like knowing the flow of a set, being able to kind of tell when we're falling behind and something's going wrong. And yeah, I have a lot of director friends, and while I'm jealous of their remote jobs, they're jealous of my ability to just be on set and have that experience. So it's absolutely helpful.
Mm. Oh, okay. Another question I have: um, why horror?
I really like suspense and mysteries more than I like horror. And
Mm,
I realized that mysteries and twists are super exciting in horror because of just like the extreme stakes. That
mhm.
I think while deep down I would love to make like a detective movie, I also really, really enjoy having that kind of suspense in a monster movie. And I didn't expect it to kind of come off as different. Like I thought I was just making a monster movie, but I realized that trying to make thriller movies first, and like
Mm.
Box and Play Me, it wasn't super important for me to be for them to be scary to me. Um,
Oh,
I think that like if you can get the stakes high enough and set the tone right, then most things can be scary.
mhm.
Um, and it's really about trying to raise the stakes in like a short amount of time, which is super hard.
Well, you're doing it. I mean, you make it seem so simple.
It's
but
definitely
but you're
not like
yeah. But see that's the good thing about it. It you know what you're putting into it. You know the time and the patience you must have. And we as an audience is looking at it, it's like, oh my God, it's a masterpiece. And how does he do it? It seems so flawless. That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
thank you.
Okay, so let's begin with Play Me. Let's
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
about that. It's about a woman who wakes up in a car with no memory of how she got there, but a man is tied up in the back seat. And I'm gonna just leave it at that. So, because there's a lot more to it. So, where did you get this story idea from? Because as I was watching it, it just looked like that can really happen. Like compared to the last one, like no, like
Yeah,
when you
yeah,
get in the car, the first thing you're supposed to do is look, look to make sure no one is there. But I mean, that one, it just starts off, you just hear this door sound and she's sitting there fixing her mirror and she turned on the lights and it's like boo. Well, he didn't say boo, but he's back there. It's like I would have left. That would have been the last time you see me. He would have stayed
just
there.
just walk off it. Well, yeah, that's why she has to be in the middle of nowhere. Is because I'm like, man, if there's like anything around her, like I'm walking away. Like she
Yeah.
doesn't. She has to like not know. Like she like 100 miles from the nearest city.
What I liked about this film was that the confinement. It was just this small space of filming of everything. It's just two people, and she's trying to figure it out. Where did that idea come from of just this confined space? And I mean, you're
It's
really good at doing that.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I think so. Where it started was, as all things do, which is I need to make something super cheap and easy. So I thought I was gonna make it in my apartment. I thought, okay, like it's gonna be this like cool shot of somebody waking up, and then he realizes he has like a person tied up with a bag over their head. That was like the extent of what I had. I'm like, okay, I've always wanted to explore memory, and I really liked finding a recorder like with your voice on it. For me, like being like a Saw fan. Like I just love finding like a tape recorder with Play Me on it. Um, and then I knew the second step was I want a clever way to get the bag off the head.
Mm.
And that probably this idea stayed in my head for maybe like 4 months, and I wasn't doing anything with it. And it just kind of clicked one day. I was like, oh, you could pinch it in, well, spoilers. You could pinch it in a window of a door. And suddenly that is what like set the door, set it at night, set the location. And that's kind of how it works. It's finding the priorities, and for me, like a clever way to get the bag off was just something I was fixating on. And then yeah, set it in the car and then started to build out the world. Like, okay, like why is this person here? What are the two stories that she's being told? How does it escalate? When do you get out of the car? Yeah.
I noticed there's a theme I feel when I watch it. Like the primary focus of your films and Play Me seems to be curiosity
Hmm.
and to show us like how dangerous it is. And the kicker is your kindness because you think you're doing something right, especially in the car. She's sitting there, I can't breathe. It's like,
Mm-hmm,
you
mm-hmm.
know, and open the window. First of all, I wouldn't even be in the car. I would be talking to him outside the car. I wouldn't even
You're like
yeah.
100 feet away from the car yelling.
But that's great because it has that conversation. But yeah, but the kindness can be lethal as well as whereas curiosity because of her being, I don't know who this guy, but I'm going to do an act of good just to help him out to breathe. I mean, he was breathing all this time.
Yeah. Yeah. He can breathe. Like, he's still alive. Um, yeah, like, I think on the surface it's seen as, like, this sort of bargaining thing. Like, it'll be easier to get my answers if I give him, like, throw him a bone. But yeah, I think deep down, like, these stories are so short, and everything I'm about to say is going to sound so lofty and barely there because it's only 10 minutes. But I really like the idea of a. I really like the idea of meeting two different versions of yourself. Like, her version, who wakes up, is probably a little bit more trusting and kind, and the version on the recorder is colder and would kill this guy with a hammer in a second. Like, and I like the idea of not being able to reconcile the different parts of yourself and being told who you are by multiple different people and like not knowing like what to do or who to trust, and you can only really trust yourself. And I like the idea that there's like inherent goodness in her,
Mm-hmm.
and trusting. And for me, I don't consider it like a movie sin, that she showed a little bit of kindness. I think that is just somebody taking advantage of it.
Mm. Well, yeah, because as she's sitting there, she doesn't feel, like you said, she doesn't feel like the person on the recorder, and I think that was kind of the puzzling part for her because it's
Mm-hmm.
like I'm hearing this like, don't do this, don't do that, don't take the bag off, he will kill you, don't look at him, he isn't human, and it's like, wait, but her eyes are deceiving. You're
Mm-hmm.
deceiving her. Like
Yep.
that's not what he appears to be, but that feeling of no memory, you have no way of knowing anything. So who do you trust? Your instincts or the recorder who's lying? And then you got this guy tied up. That's not who I am. I don't think I would do that. I mean, that kind of thought could be going off in her head. Um, but at the same time, whoever that was in the back seat, see, I would my thought with that is like, okay, how did he end up back there? How did he get the handcuffs on him? And the bag is on his head and he's just quiet. Now, if I would have saw a recorder, I would have got out to listen to it. But she played it. See, the whole time you could tell I wouldn't even be in the car, right?
Yeah.
Um
No, I think you're making good decisions.
and she plays it so he can hear it. So he has time to, okay, what's my next move?
Mm-hmm. He
Because
knows her
now
name because
yeah,
it's
he
on the
knows
yeah.
everything. But then there was a twist with the picture in her pocket. That's what kind of threw me off a little bit. I was like, oh yeah, he could just play this off and say anything. But the picture in her pocket, how did he know? And she's like, oh, you
Mm-hmm.
could have seen this. And I was thinking of all these theories and everything. Putting that part together, how was it shooting in the car? Because it just feels
Mm-hmm.
like how the space, like how would you like go let us know about that? Because it
Yeah.
feel so
So
difficult.
in hindsight, I feel like I should have chosen a smaller camera. We had a Alexa, pretty big
Mm-hmm.
build, and that added quite a bit of challenge to just setups. Like, I had scheduled out all of our shots, and I forgot to account for how much time it takes to move a camera from a front seat to a back seat. What made it a lot easier though is we had 2 days, and all of the interior car stuff was shot on a stage. We found a
Oh.
stage, and like that we had a relationship with. They were very fortunate to cut us a deal. Hold on, I want to plug them. Contrast Camera in Burbank. Uh, Let us use their stage for a great deal. Anyway, so yeah, we just had a dark stage, and that meant we didn't have to shoot at night. But yeah, the look of the film came kind of from an accident, because whenever my DP Laura Jansen set up the lights, we knew that, like, okay, we want something big coming from the headlights and something big and red coming from the taillights. She set up the taillights, and I realized like the silhouette of the guy wasn't strong enough. And I was like, oh, I think the taillights have to be really unrealistic to get the really cool silhouette that I want. And that just kind of had this domino effect of, okay, now that it's unrealistic, it has this more surreal quality. Let's lean into that. And that ended up like informing the edit quite a bit, because like towards the end, we're doing a lot of jump cuts, and that wasn't planned. But once I knew that, oh, like we're like fully like in her head, like in a surreal way where this, it looks like a dream, it feels like a dream, we can mess with the edit in weird ways. And all that just came from wanting to make the red light stronger so the silhouette is stronger. And it just feels like a lot of decisions are like that, where they just domino, snowball off of small changes.
It's like he's just sitting there so still, and it's like with a bag. I mean, I mean,
Yeah.
that was such a clever way of being so scared, because the mystery is, let's take the bag off. Like,
Mhm.
you want to take it off, but do you want to take it off?
Yeah.
But her listening to that is like, don't take it off. It's like gonna kill you. And then he's like, I'm your brother, and you're crazy and everything. And he's just made it up. But also, if you pay attention to the recording, he isn't human. And I think that's a key of what is about to happen. And there's a reason. And I'm gonna tell you about that. Okay, so she almost chokes him out because he's trying to get the bag off. And then the act of kindness of opening the window, and I knew it. Like, I knew.
Oh, did you? Nice.
I felt like as soon as she opened that window, I was like, oh no, because to me, I'm like, he maneuver his head. I was like, it's coming off, because especially, oh, now I'm cold. It's like,
yeah. Okay, so I'm so sorry to jump in. I'm so glad that you got that early on, because like for me, that's not like I'm trying to like trick people. Like a lot of people were missing it. Like in early test screenings and showing it to people, a lot of people were missing just the bag going in the window, period. And I was really worried. But yeah, you and a few YouTube comments have been like, the second I saw that window, I knew something was up. So that makes me very excited.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I'm like, what other way to get the bag off? I mean, that's the goal. That is the entire goal of him and keeping the bag on the head. There's only one way to take it off, because we saw how he couldn't take it off, which was with his knees, and he keeps trying to, and it's not working because she's quick to stop him. But the act of kindness, the window, and the window's shut, and he was like, oh, because you closed the window. And you saw her expression. The actress, is it Lindsay Garrett?
Yes.
Yeah. Plays Elizabeth, this, whose memory is gone, and she was so great, and you saw her expression change for a split second, and then we look, the bag is off, and it's sitting behind her, and it's like, oh, just move over a little bit so I can see. So that whole time you're wondering, it isn't human. You still remember that. Now this is now that character was the man. I like that it's named the man.
It's just man. Yeah. I mean, what's scarier than being in the middle of the desert at night with a man?
Which was Josh Shrill. Is it Shrill? How am I saying
Shell.
Sorry, Shell.
No worries.
Who is actually played Sean in the other side of the box, the lowdown friend. He was very low down in other side of the box.
He's done some podcasts and voice work. I mean, I just love working with him, but I was like, hey, like I got this really thankless role where you're not even going to see your face, like, and you're going to be sitting in a backseat like the entire time. Like, would you want to come out for it? And he just like, not even, no hesitation, like, yes, totally. And I just knew I needed someone who could project like some sort of sympathy through a bag, because like immediately no one's trusting this dude. Like, this dude's a monster. Like, I needed somebody very convincing and human, and he brought it. He brought it way, like, I didn't need him to be as good as he was for the movie to work.
Or non-human.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
we're still unsure what is happening. Is she crazy? You don't know what's going. Now, this is where the turn of events got me, because I'm like, his hands are behind his back, the bag is off. Now what? Like, how he going? And then he just opened the car door and just get out. And I was like, wait a minute. Like, how? I mean, he could have did this a long time ago.
It's all about the bag.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's all about like not being able to see. But yeah, like I like to think that he's
but he needed the bag
well.
off.
Yes, I like to think that like if he is a monster, he's not worried. He's playing.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah, he was a little too calm.
yeah, a little too calm.
Yeah. And then she jumps out. See, I would have been already out. But she jumps out with the hammer. The hammer is important. What was that shot at? Because it just was
so
so dark. I
yeah,
can't see
yeah, we
nothing.
so after the stage day, we went out to Santa Clarita Valley. This gentleman named Eric Arnold let us use his property, and it was just this little like area in his backyard. Well, not backyard, like he had a lot of land, but like behind his house. And we knew that we just needed like 100 feet diameter. Like we knew that like we weren't going to do moonlight; it was going to fall off into darkness, but we needed somewhere really desolate. And yeah, we looked up this site for like sort of like Airbnb for camping. I think it's called High Camp. And we're like, hey, can we like pay some money to like shoot for one night on your property? And yeah, it just worked out. It's hard to find land in Los Angeles. That's the biggest thing.
Wait, that was somebody's backyard that dark?
Well, yeah, it was. We're out in Santa Clarita Valley, so there's really no lights. Like it's
Oh,
just like a bunch of property, and this guy has like a ranch, and it like went on for miles. But yeah, basically, like he had a house, and then like down a hill is like this flat area, and we're like, oh, can we just shoot there? And it worked out.
so did you drive the car down
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
there?
yeah. It was
Oh,
like this little like through road. But when it was at night, I was like, this could like pass for like the middle of nowhere.
oh wow. Okay, because that was dark.
Yeah.
That was like you're there was like nothing but the lights on the car.
Well, I think
Um,
that's what's the scariest part. Like for me, like I grew up in the country without any light around, like no neighbors nearby. So like for me, looking out a black window is really scary and like a core memory. That's how like the middle of nowhere feels. There's no light.
if I was working out there with y'all, I would be just scared. I wouldn't even be. You'd be like, "Wait, you supposed to help us?" I'm like, "I'm looking around because if I need to run, it's time to go." Like,
It's a good survival instinct.
yeah, me running.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're still alive.
Yeah. And okay, so he grabs her and he's wrestling with her, and she looks up, and that was it. And I love how it shows like rewind, like it's
Mhm.
just like wiped all that out, and she looking. But then also we have to remember she wrote down. She remembered the pen is everything that she can't trust anything, can't trust her memories. The pen is the only thing she has. She wrote down something. We didn't know what she wrote on there, and memory gone. His voice changed. So there's two things about that I think, and you could let me know. Like the voice
Mhm.
changed because the moment the memory is gone, it's like he is in control because the voice changed. We're focused, fixated on the voice. Um, or um that is how you hear him once he takes what is yours. So
Mhm.
it's kind of like, I don't know, it was such a weird thing that his voice changed like that. And but also it
Mhm.
indicates that he's not human. This is my theory. He is not human
Mhm.
because no one is going to say, what are you going to do with that hammer, and can I hold it? Ain't
Mhm.
nobody, they just grab it and then just take you out. So I knew he's not human. There is no
Mhm.
way someone human, because he's not worried. He doesn't have a fear.
Mhm.
He's, yeah, because he did what he had to do, or ability to do, so he felt like he had no fear because he did not know she wrote on that hammer.
I love. Yeah, no, I think I'm with you. So this movie came out so much more ambiguous than I thought it was going to, and when everyone is like half the people are like, well, what's the answer at the end? I didn't want to ruin it for them, but like I thought it was clear, and I feel like our interpretations are pretty similar. Yeah, in terms of the voice, I was trying to find something. I'm like, what does it feel like to have your entire memory wiped, and then trying to like regain your senses, and
Mm.
like you're feeling your throat because you're in pain, you're on your knees, somebody's talking to you. Like I was looking for something that like yes could be more alien but also could reflect the inside of her head.
Mm. That was close, somewhat.
But
But
I yes.
no, no. But what was you
Oh,
gonna say?
I just think that like it's a good indication that maybe he's not human. And some
Yeah.
people aren't sure by the end, and I don't want to ruin the ambiguity for them, but you know.
Well, I knew he wasn't human because somebody that has ability. Okay, there's so many things that says not human. First of all, the ability to wipe someone's memory away by looking at them.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's one.
Yeah.
I was like, wait. And two, it's just his demeanor. Well, actually, it's three. His demeanor was like, I would be in a panic if I was a human would be in a panic with a bag on their head. It
Mhm.
don't matter. It's like they're not gonna be sitting there quiet unless they're drugged. But he was sitting up. The third one was his reaction. Come on, oh, is that better? Like, and like he didn't have no fear. He didn't run away. Didn't try to get away.
Mhm.
And can I hold it? Can I hold the hammer? That's what. Nope. He's a monster. He's
Yeah.
something because there's no way. Or an alien because she's an agent. So he escaped. It
Mhm.
could be Area 51.
Yep.
Where are they at? I mean, it was the middle of nowhere. It could be. I mean, there's so many ways you could put it, but I knew like right then and there. Yeah, he didn't see her as a threat. That I see. I love your style because it. I mean, there's so much mystery, but it moves the story along. I feel like when I watch it, I don't get lost. It's like, ooh, I mean, I think what you're trying to say is right there. It's. I mean, it's smacking you
Hmm.
in your face. You just have to look. You have to look at the details. I mean, you put everything in there. This is it. This is it. This is it, and there. And it's so obvious. So I don't think what you're doing, keep doing it. I don't think it's
I
a
feel like I
problem.
need you to be my spokesperson because like everything you're saying, I'm like, oh, that's a good way to put that. Yeah, that's a yeah. No, I like I'm really glad that you're connecting with that because yeah, that all those little details really matter to me and like it's what I care about in movies. And whenever I watch a great, my favorite shows and movies are ones that are like so layered that I feel like I'm just getting like a giant I'm just getting so much more than my money's worth, you know? Like watching a 90-minute movie that is packed full feels like I've watched 10 movies and I'm like thinking about it forever and like I don't know, like I really want to make things that like people can't enjoy while looking at their phone. Like it's something that like
Mm.
sucks you in. It makes you not want to look at your phone. That you're like I desperately need to know what's going to happen.
And last little theory I have about this, about how he got in the car and everything. It's like I wrote it down, so I have to read
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I
yeah.
wrote down. He needed her to get him out of there. He placed himself in the
Hmm.
car, but he didn't want, but he wasn't prepared of how she would get out of it. Like he didn't know that she probably placed something in the car to help her with her
Yeah.
memory. So he was listening, and I think that is when the recorder played, he had to find a way to get that bag off. Like to get she thought, oh, she would probably drive away, never pay attention and take him
Mhm.
somewhere else because even
Mhm.
in the mic, don't he escaped, you're the only one left. Don't believe anything, you're right there. So I feel like he was toying with her because to strangle her, he had his hands in front of him, but in the car, he had them behind him. So
Mhm.
he knew there it was all a game. It was all a game.
It's a good interpretation. I think it's pretty close to my own. I'm like always imagining it and I don't I'm always imagining it as the end of a very long story. Like it feels like they've been that they started really confident that there are probably like a bunch of agents like transporting this thing or going to get this thing and one by one they got taken out, forgot what they were doing, forgot what they were like. I feel like Liz and this guy have been like on the road in like a like amnesia loop for like a while
Mm.
and like she still like manages to not get got by him but I don't know how long. Yeah.
Or she could have had a partner who helped
Yeah.
her, but
Hmm.
then he got something happened to him, and she's like, "Oh, I see you
For a
back there."
while, oh, that's interesting. I totally forgot that. For a while, I was considering it making it her partner. That's his story. That she thinks that she lost her partner, blah blah blah. But I ended up simplifying it because it was already getting too complicated. Like I got agents in.
Well, I liked it. I enjoyed it. It's I think you have this reputation of when I see something pops up from you, it's like I want to see how else he's going to scare you, because it takes you to another. I mean, you warp people to another world, even in the most confined space. I mean, even other side of the box was a confined space. I mean, it started off openly, but then he put himself between the steps. Oh, people still talk about that movie. Oh my goodness! Just thinking about it, I have nightmares.
Oh, I'm so
and
pleased.
and I've showed people that I was like, what would you do in this situation? Just the other day at work, and I showed them that. I was like, oh my god. I was like, yeah, right. It's one of the best, and this is. I mean, you have a style. Nothing wrong with fine tuning it. It's great. Just I think if you decide to do a feature with it,
Hmm.
just expand it, because I am so sick and tired of just looking at the same thing. And I
Hmm.
think we need you in the theater. We need
Thank
your
you so much.
style in the
Wow. Yeah.
theaters, because if you like the detective, you like the mystery, you like all this thing, just the scare elements, and yes, because I am tired of the same old.
Uh, do you have anything? Do you have anything you're excited about coming up?
Coming out
Like
in the
horror
theater.
wise.
Oh,
Yeah.
movie,
I
right?
feel like yeah. I feel like the first Omen looks really interesting.
That looks interesting. But then
We'll see.
again, it's an Omen movie.
Yes.
Like it's the
Yes.
same. Like
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
uh
I have hope.
yeah, I mean, I'm still gonna watch him. I like it's just the same. It's the
Hmm.
same.
Hmm.
Everything is the same. They just take it another level. But yours is different. Yours is different. So
Well, I'm hoping to have something soon. So like I'm working right now on getting a feature script off the ground, seeking financing. It's looking really good. So I'm hoping that in a year's time, like something will be made. Um,
mhm.
yeah, and I think it's good. The script I have, I think, is really fucking cool and
Mm.
suspenseful and mysterious with cool twists. And I hope I'm just doing this for a long time. And yeah, hopefully we just keep doing these interviews once a year.
Well, then when you do the feature, then I'll really look at it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'll be like, ah, yes, now I can really get in there.
yeah. We'll have a lot to talk
Okay.
about.
There is something really. I have a few things here before I let you go, but I looked up your interview from Alter, and so it was
Oh,
like the
cool.
director insight, because there were some interesting things here that I thought was, that it was fun to talk about real quick. You said when you're, well, not you said, but they asked you when you're building in the world of your film, where do you look for inspiration? And you said, weirdly enough, trailers. Can you explain that, or
Oh,
do you
wow,
remember
that's an
that?
old one. No, yeah, I do. Well, I still do that.
Okay.
I still do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, like one of my favorite trailers right now is the horror trailer Long Legs from
Oh, okay.
Osgood Perkins. And for me, I and video game trailers too, but for me I it's just sort of like I love seeing little moments, images, ideas, and imagining what it's going to be. And a lot of the times, like a trailer will give me an idea, and I have to wait for the movie to come out to make sure the movie's not doing it. But a lot of the times,
Mm.
like it just gives me like I don't know, scene ideas, movie ideas, and yeah, I consume like I have like a giant list of trailers that I just probably watch like once a month, because it gets me in the mood. It makes me like I don't know. And most of the time, trailers are better than the movies. So getting to see like a really cool
Very
moment.
true.
Yeah.
Sad and true.
Yeah. I like to imagine like what the movie was in my head from this trailer. That gets me excited.
Mm, okay. Another one here, they said you've got to go through some bad ideas to get to the good ones. Tell us one of your bad ideas and how you get past the bad ones to find your spark. And this is what you said.
Oh, okay.
You said whenever you get stuck, we try to come up with the bad ideas on
Mm-hmm.
purpose.
Mm-hmm.
More often than not, our good ideas start as bad ideas. And that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very true.
I 100% still believe that. And I think I know where I was at headspace wise when I said that. The ending of the box was really hard. It was I couldn't figure out the stair moments for probably like a month and a half. Like I had the whole thing, and I had like weird ideas. Like okay, maybe Ben comes home and like the box's head turns out to not be a full body but just a head, and it's on Rachel's body, or like maybe
Ooh.
he like yeah like there's like some like there's something fun there, but it's not. It's leave you scratching your head. And eventually I was just like I threw my hands up and I was like maybe there's a lot of them, and I was like oh, and then I started oh red light green light oh trapped in between okay like I see that. But yeah I will often just like because there's a lot of shame in putting down, or there can be putting down bad ideas, and I really like being able to see them all and that they can't hurt me. Like I just like put down like 10 bad ideas for this story thing, and it empties your brain because I feel like you can get kind of trapped with all these possibilities, but once you write down like all the bad ones, like you kind of make room for like more.
I'm glad you came up with the bad idea and moved to because that the red light green light thing. Oh my god, it
Yeah.
was like the hands up, they're
Yeah.
coming, the hands up.
I'm so
The
happy
heart
with
is
that
like
ending, and like it almost
pumping.
didn't happen.
The
Yeah.
heart is pumping. I felt. I mean, this one too because I mean, for Play Me, I mean, the bag is off. It's like, what now? What can happen? Are we going to
Mm-hmm,
see it?
mm-hmm.
Are we going to see it? We still don't see it. But we saw the outcome of that one. And the lastly, which I thought it was funny, they said, "What scares you? It doesn't inspire and does it inspire your storytelling?" And you said
Did I
making
say
a shit.
people?
No, you said making a shitty movie.
Yep, still true. Still very
I
true.
mean, that's everybody's fear
Yeah.
in the film industry. But
Oh
you
man.
said it.
Yeah. I feel like one thing I've really grown in is I'm a little less afraid of that because you have to
Mm,
be, because there's a lot of times I feel like you're doing something you're like I have no idea if this is going to be good or not until people see it. And yeah.
exactly. That's the suck part. Like
Mhm.
anything you do, you don't know. It's like, oh, it's great. It's great. I know it's great. And it's somebody like, oh, did you see that shit? And they're
That's
like,
why
oh,
that's why I try really hard to not be hard on other movies.
mm,
Like if you like a lot of these people are trying their best and really trying, and they know what
mm,
went wrong, and yeah, you just sometimes you have to shoot high and you miss.
mm. And you can't please everyone. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if majority enjoy your film, that's all that matters. There's nothing you can do with the rest that don't. So
Yeah.
and lastly, question here. How so when you make your short films, do you submit them to Alter or
Yeah.
how does that work?
So Alter and Short of the Week have submission things on their website. I did that
Mhm.
for Box, but because I had already been in contact with them with Box, I just directly emailed them. I was like, "Hey, I've got a new film. Would you like be interested in hosting it?"
Mm.
And yeah, I think I'm. It'd be nice to like have it on a personal channel so people know immediately where to find me. But I really like that Alter and Short of the Week have a built-in audience, so I know people are at least going to see it.
Oh, okay. It's very simple.
Mm-hmm.
I
Oh
mean,
yeah, super simple.
but they probably get submissions. Oh my goodness, probably
Yeah,
forever, and they pick the best. And
like yeah, like I
that's what I
booked.
think, right?
Oh, 100%. Like they have Alter releases two horror shorts a week, I believe, and whenever I submitted mine, it was like 6 months before the actual release date. Like that's their backlog.
Oh,
Like
oh
they had
wow.
yeah. So it's a lot.
Oh, that's a. So it doesn't go up right away. You have to wait about 6 months
Yeah, if I
for
were to
it to.
submit now, I'd probably have to wait till like August or something.
Well, how would you know? Do they tell you, "Oh, we like it, but it takes time to put." Like, do they tell you, or it just
I,
shows up on their?
oh, they definitely tell you because they request materials and like interview stuff and stuff like that. I
Oh,
think it
okay.
has to do with, yeah, probably the film's quality, but mostly like they already have like their infrastructure out. Like, okay, we're going to release these trailers for these shorts and these social media posts, so they like have their plan weeks ahead. But no, actually, now I think about it, Play Me moved up. It was going to be late April, and they emailed me and they're like, hey, we can move it up. Like, they might have lost a short or decided to get rid of it. Who knows? So then it happened like late February.
Oh, okay. All right. I was curious about that. But yeah, okay, even though we kind of, I mean, it wasn't really spoiled. I think we were just talking about some details in it, but still
Mm,
check out Play Me. And if you have not checked out Other Side of the Box, it's a masterpiece.
thank
Check
you.
it out. Both of them are great. They both play on, curiosity. I mean, I think they play on curiosity in your kindness and just confined space. Woo, scary, scary stuff. But definitely check it out on Alter, on their streaming platform on YouTube. Yes, and follow him. Any other things coming out shortly, soon? Are
uh,
you working besides that feature you said that you're working on? Is there any other short film that we should
there,
be
no,
keeping an
but there
eye
is
out? Okay.
there's a chance there's going to be a fundraiser.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Okay.
yeah, I'm thinking like it's not 100% yet. We're laying out the like infrastructure for that. We might do some PR, might have some digital ads that run, but yeah, I'm probably going to reach out and start a fundraiser for this feature. I don't know if it's going to happen. That's my plan moving forward. We'll see what happens in other financing areas. Maybe I won't need to, but yeah, look for that.
Okay. And I'm excited. I'm excited. I got to see this. I got to see what you I'm
Hmm.
gonna really look at it.
I think you'll like it. I think you'll like it.
Okay. If I like these, I know I'm gonna like it. Well, I'm gonna like it. I know I'm gonna like it. It's gonna be great. Be positive. It's gonna
Yeah,
be
yeah,
fantastic. You're
yeah,
gonna get
yeah,
the
yeah.
funds for it. It's gonna be amazing. So thank you so much, Khalid. This was a lot of fun. Thank you everyone for watching. And if you like, shows like this, make sure you like, subscribe, and don't forget to follow Khalid Phillips. He's amazing. We need more people like him. We need more his work out there.
Thank you so much.
Guaranteed. Thank you, everyone. Until next time.